My name is Karara Muhoro, and I am a professor of chemistry. Today I have a project called The Mechanism of the Dual Nature of the Coronavirus. This means that dual nature is two properties of the coronavirus that are detrimental enough to cause the world pandemic. Number one, particle nature. The particle nature means that the coronavirus behaves like solid, liquid, or gas. As a solid, vibrates in place, negligible kinetic energy. Liquid move, particles move over each other. Gases, on the other hand, move very fast. Gases move very fast. Particle nature of the coronavirus. Number two, the coronavirus behaves like a catalyst. A catalyst speeds up the rate of chemical reactions. So these two properties are meshed together, particle nature, catalyst, to trigger the world pandemic. So what we're going to do is discuss the mechanism of carbonic anhydrase, the catalyst, the biological catalyst that speeds up the rate of chemical reactions in the lungs, in the bloodstream, and in the tissues to trigger the world pandemic in the presence of the coronavirus. But the mechanism of carbonic anhydrase is for sustaining life under normal conditions, under ordinary conditions. So let's discuss the mechanism of carbonic anhydrase so that we can comprehend the mechanism of the dual nature of the coronavirus. The mechanism of the dual nature of the coronavirus is about the interaction between carbonic anhydrase and hemoglobin. Carbonic anhydrase has a zinc ion at its active site. Zinc facilitates the abstraction of a proton from a water molecule that is bound to the active site. This produces hydroxide ion, or the abstraction of proton causes hydroxide to be produced. Hydroxide is rich in electrons and increases the acidity of the lungs, the acidity of the bloodstream, the acidity of the alveoli of the lungs. When this happens, hemoglobin binds oxygen and transports to the tissues for cell metabolism. This graph, percent oxygen saturation versus partial pressure, represents the binding of oxygen to hemoglobin. The first molecule binds based on this graph, this green curve, and then this facilitates a conformation of change in hemoglobin that allows more oxygen molecules to be bound, and then the oxygen is transported to the tissues. In the tissues, carbon dioxide is produced from cell metabolism, but carbon dioxide is not soluble in water and must be converted to something that is soluble, called bicarbonate. It happens like this. Carbon dioxide binds to the active site of carbonic anhydrase, and the hydroxide reacts with carbon dioxide to produce the bicarbonate, which is soluble in water. The bicarbonate picks a proton from the medium and produces carbonic acid. This carbonic acid decreases the acid level, the pH of the lungs, the pH of the alveoli of the lungs, and this allows the removal of carbon dioxide from the body, from the lungs. Then a water molecule binds to the active site of carbonic anhydrase and regenerates the enzyme, the biological catalyst. So this perfect mechanism of sustaining life, the interaction between carbonic anhydrase and hemoglobin, can be reversed in the presence of the coronavirus. So under normal conditions, this is a perfect mechanism that regulates the acid level, and this allows the binding of oxygen, and also decreasing acidity or pH removes carbon dioxide from the body. However, in the presence of the coronavirus, which behaves like a catalyst, this perfect mechanism is reversed. In this case, water molecule no longer binds to the active site of carbonic anhydrase, the water molecule no longer binds to the enzyme. After this, or in the presence of a coronavirus, there is an exponential increase in carbon dioxide, in the lungs and in the bloodstream, also in the tissues. This increase in percent concentration of carbon dioxide increases the concentration of carbonic acid. This increase in concentration of carbonic acid decreases the pH of the lungs, infecting the lungs. The chemistry of the lungs is changed. This change in the chemistry of the alveoli of the lungs is the cause for the world pandemic. So the mechanism of the dual nature of the coronavirus is about the infection of carbonic anhydrase active site, changing the chemistry of the lungs and causing the lungs to be infected. This change in the chemistry of the alveoli of the lungs is the cause for the world pandemic. Thank you. I'll be back.